Hello everyone. So let's continue with this. We are done with the topography and with all the levels, all the voids, all the connection elements, ramps and stairs. Now we are going to add materials and other site components. There are different things here. We have walls. It's a generic wall. It doesn't have any material on it. And this is the barn wall. It's another generic wall. It doesn't have any material. I'm going to edit this type, and on the barn, remember that if we want to change the material, I can select structure. I don't have any materials here, any materials created by me. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to create a new material, change the identity, and I want to call this wood wall. In the appearance, I'm going to select one of the wood walls that I have downloaded from the home page. And now by default, we have a 1x1 sample size. Let's make it at least 10 feet by 10 feet, because that will create a better quality of the image here. So if I apply, so the problem is that now this wall, well, if you want it to be made of wood, well, it's not bad, but I want to create something different for the wall, for the barn wall. That works well. For this retaining wall, usually retaining walls are made of concrete. What I'm going to do is to edit type, and I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to duplicate this generic 8 inches, but concrete. Well, let's call it 8-inch concrete. And now I want to edit, and instead of the wood wall, I want to insert a new material. The identity is concrete. I type 00 because I make sure that it's at the top of the top of the list. And then I change the appearance, and I have a concrete wall here. But the sample size one, it's always wrong, so make it 8 feet. And then let's apply. Okay, okay again. Nothing has changed. Well, only this one has changed because that's the only wall that I had selected. If I want to change the rest of the retaining walls to concrete, I have to select all of them. This is another barn, so it's good. And I have to change this to the 8 inches concrete. That makes more sense. The concrete, we have these partitions and these holes. Well, it looks like a high quality concrete wall that can be something made by Tadawando. So let me, if you type Tadawando, it's a Japanese, very famous Japanese architect, concrete walls. He always uses this kind of concrete, very abstract, and well, I like it. So that's why I have decided on this texture. Let's go back to Revit, and this is what we get here. We get retaining walls made of concrete. So at least I have this material for the wood barn. I have the different material for the concrete walls. Probably the roof I can edit type, and I can edit the structure, and I can use a new material. I think I have aluminum tiles in identity. This is roof. The appearance, I'm going to select not the ceiling tiles. I have these tiles, I don't know what they look like. And oh, I have these sink tiles. Let's open this. Yep. And now, again, that the sample size, let's make it bigger, at least 10 feet. Right. 10 feet. And if I apply now, yep, we have this nice roof. Okay, we're going to split hairs here. You see that it doesn't make sense. So those tiles are good here, but not there. This has to be like a flat color. Can we change that? Yes, we can. So in this one, we can paint, and this applies a material to the face of an element. Select this one, and I want to select this face. If I select this face, now I can apply a different material. Let's use concrete precast, and I click here, and you see that I have changed that, and I want to change this too. There you go. So that looks better because we don't have this kind of tiles going down. So I'm going to change this material and this. Now I have to do the same on every single roof. Here, here, and there. Okay, that's very useful, this tool, because I don't have to create anything new. It's just painting a face that has another texture. So I don't have to create anything else here. So I just paint that face, and that looks more realistic. I can do the same with this. Imagine that I want to turn this into a concrete wall. This is a topography. And the topography, it has its own texture. But if I want to change this, I can paint material, use this. I can use the concrete wall that I have created here. This is the concrete wall. And I just need to select this one and that one. And if I want to continue this thing here, this is different because I created this as a sweep element. So to change that material, I have to edit in place. I have to select it again. And now I can change the material here to this concrete, 00 concrete, and finish the model. And now I have changed the material here. Okay, so you see that I can change the material in different ways. I can select the wall, and I can edit type, select the structure, and change the material here. If it's a model, if it's extrusion, I can't do that, so I have to select this, edit in place, select it again, and now I can change the material here. Or in other parts of the model, I can use this paint. I can select the material I want, and then I have to select the face. So it depends. on the elements that I have created, I have to use one option or the other option or another option. But now it's getting better, at least because we have different textures, and we have wood, we have zinc, we have concrete. So we are getting there. What if I want to make the floor, but not the topography itself, just the floor of these voids? What if I want natural stone? Okay, money, it's not a problem. So if I want to change the material of this to natural stone, there are different ways. For example, this is a Toposolid. So I created this as the extrusion. I can edit type, but in edit type, I don't have material. So I had to edit in place here. Now I can select the same, and now I can change the material by category. I want to create a new one, a new material. I want to change the name to 00 stone, and in appearance, I want this travertine. Travertine, it's a typical Italian marble, very expensive, but again, money, it's not a concern. Okay, so we have these nice tiles with this nice color. Again, let's make this sample size. I'm gonna make it even bigger, 15 feet. I'm going to apply, okay. And if I finish the model, now we will have this travertine tiles. Yeah, so this is, well, I like it. And I like how the gray concrete and this green travertine combines. But now I have to do the same with this with this level here. I think the right way to do that is with paint. If I use paint and I use the stone, now I can paint this, and I have this. I paint this, and I have this platform. Unfortunately, I cannot do it with the ramp. Okay, so for the ramp, it's an extrusion, so I have to do this, but with the voids, it works. So I have created this nice floor. If you want this to be made of concrete, this wall, you can use the paint again. But now in this case, we're going to use concrete, and then you can make this retaining wall turn into concrete. The same thing with all the retaining walls that we have here. So it's getting better. What about the stairs? The stairs, I can't use paint because this is a solid, so I have to edit in place. And now I can change the material. Now I can use either concrete or stone. Let's see how the concrete, yeah, I think concrete goes well with this. So now we have almost everything with nice materials. And I want to use something for the topography itself. But the topography, I can change the material, but the faces that I have changed, will not change if I change the material of the topography. Let's try. In Toposolid, I can edit type, and in Toposolid, I do have the material here, so I edit. So that's the structure. I want to create a new element. Let's create a new material. And this is going to be grass. And then I will change the appearance. The material, I have different kind of grass here. Or maybe I can do dirt. Well, let's try. Open. And the sample size here is going to be much bigger. I'm going to make it 50 because the area of this material, it's greater. So I'm going to do this and see what it looks like. Yeah. So you see that I have changed this. Yeah, I like this color. And then I have travertine, and I have the concrete. And well, I have this here. If I have this small, I can use paint and I can fix all these small mistakes that I might have. That looks weird, and it's because I have a floor and then I have the void. So I think if I get rid of this floor, it will look better. I don't need that floor because I have that level. So that looks much better. And this is the realistic. I can cast shadows. So casting shadows always make things better, but probably this is not, well, it's not the right shadow, the right direction for the, so let me go to sun settings. I'm going to use steel, and this is on that day, September the 19th at 11 a.m. So I want to apply, yeah, and I want to see these shadows change. So I need to find a moment in which the shadows or the shade it's more interesting than in other. Yeah, so I think that looks better. And even from the top view, yeah, that looks quite good. Finally, I can, in massing and site, I can use site components. The only available thing is, or we have a lot of trees. I'm not an expert on trees, but I think maples, there are maples in the area. So I'm going to insert that point there. The problem is that inserting trees in Revit, it will make the the file very heavy. So that's why I don't use this. I'd rather use Photoshop. Anyway, we can't scale that, but we can edit type, and we can, that's the height, 30 feet. I can make it bigger, 50. And then I can copy. So with this, we can take a decent view. But again, we have to think if it's worth doing this, because every time I add a tree, it takes more memory to move the file. It depends on the machine that we are working with. This one is not great, so that's why it takes time to move it. And we can try to insert other site components. If you load family, if you load family, and you have your all this US content here, you can download it. But if you don't, you can load family from the cloud. And if you load the family from the cloud, you can go to site, and these are the options. This is more for construction management because we have trucks, construction crane, construction trailer. Okay, so we have gas pump, benches. These are the options that we have. They are not great for architecture. I think it works quite well for construction management. The default options that we have here, we have accessories, logistic, parking, utilities. Anyway, I don't think we should insert any of those. But you can look up on the internet other site components, and if you think that go well with this, you can try. So this is okay. So if we want to take a good screenshot, this would be the floor plan. But if we want a section, we have to do this with the section box. So make sure that in this 3D view, the section box is activated. And now the first section would be through the stairs. Okay, so if we have stairs, we need a section that is like this. So here we need a difference between the, okay, so this is the soil with all the levels that we have excavated, and these are the stairs. And if we want to make it clear, then we have to go to visibility graphics. If we go to visibility graphics, and if we use, for example, Toposolid, the cut pattern, and I'm going to make it solid fill with a black color. This is what we get. Okay, so this is very clear, the difference between the soil and the rest of the buildings. So at least, yeah, I think this view works really well because we can see all the things that we have excavated. So how many sections we might need? This can be one of the sections. And I think even in the 3D view, it works really, it works well because it explains a lot about the site. So if we think that this is good enough, we can this is 3D view, this one. We can duplicate view. And I'm going to lock this view because if I like this, I don't want to move it. But if I open the 3D copy one, okay, I'm going to unlock this view, the 3D copy one, because another section would be through the buildings itself. So I need to see other section through the building. So here I have the building, and I can see the building itself. So that would be a different section, and then I can lock this view if I think this is the right one. So those are the features that we can get easily with this, and then we can explore graphic display options. I won't, if I have the realistic view, I won't show edges. I think that will work better. And if I like this view, then I have to hide elements and categories, because I want to keep just the and even the scope box. I want something like that.